Lance, thank you for coming on the show. Let me
here.
start with asking you about, explain to us what SoftLayer is.
Sure. So SoftLayer is a global infrastructure as a service company. We began in May of 2005, and the premise behind what we wanted to achieve with the internet was to rack and stack all of the infrastructure of a data center, the servers, the networking, the firewalls, the load balancers, the SAN storage, put an abstraction layer on top, and then expose that to the world via an API. And the vision was our customers would either replace existing workloads and shift their internal infrastructure into the cloud, or the more interesting avenue, which was what are they going to build when we present the ingredients of the infrastructure to the world as APIs. And what we found, fast forwarding 8 years later, is a lot of very interesting companies that were born on the web that have basically created new markets, new opportunities, and also displaced a lot of enterprise applications out there. So companies like Tumblr, which is a microblogging site, Dropbox, which is a global file download and backup service, WhatsApp, which is purchased by Facebook this week, which is a global messaging service, to things like Yelp and OpenTable, EA Sport, or EA Games, and all kinds of companies that have built on top of our platform using those ingredients.
Now, I got to say, you're a very gutsy guy. I mean, you're taking on giants like Amazon, who've really well established. So what do you think, as a startup company, as a smaller company, how did you manage to grow this company and attract such clientele?
Sure. Well, I think there's always opportunities to compete with the big guys. I mean, you see all of these companies that are displacing long-term, enormous companies. And we actually came to market a year before Amazon, so we can say we were cloud before cloud was cool. And we came in with a different approach. So we still compete today, but our DNA is different. We're about single tenancy and multi-tenancy and control and transparency. And although we compete at some levels with similar products, we did find our own strategy, and we have grown globally. And of course, the acquisition from IBM speaks volumes about whether or not the strategy was correct.
It's interesting that this idea came about when you were sitting in a kitchen in 2005. Tell us about that.
That is correct. So we actually went to breakfast with 9 other co-workers at the time, and I pitched the idea. I didn't know it was called cloud, but I pitched the idea of let's create something, a platform for the internet. And we actually penned on one of the whiteboards that's still in my office today that we wanted to be the de facto platform of the internet. So we had very big vision from day one. And came together in my living room, left breakfast, came together in the living room, and we sat there for about 60 days and we whiteboarded what would this perfect company look like from a customer's perspective. So we came up with all of the attributes, all of the things that we would love to do. And my guys kept telling me it was impossible. Technically can't be done. Routing doesn't work that way. Provisioning doesn't work that way. Networking, And finally I said, look, if this is the perfect company and this is what we want, this is what other people want too. So let's figure out how to solve these technically. And so we had to forget what we knew and move forward and figure out a way to solve all those problems. And we worked on it a long time, and literally SoftLayer came together in about 72 hours, because once we were able to crack the triple network architecture and some of the magic that we have from the platform perspective, we figured out how to solve all those other problems.
So it's one thing to whiteboard an idea and to even start up, but it's a completely different thing to scale it up to the size that SoftLayer is. I mean, you guys got bought over by IBM for over, what, 2 billion?
2 billion.
How did that happen?
Sure. So, we had big visions. Our goal from day one is we knew that we wanted to create a platform that was going to manage, millions of physical nodes in data centers all over the world. So we built a very distributed system. The management system, basically didn't exist at the time. We had to build our own billing system. We had to build the inventory, the asset tracking, the provisioning, because none of these things existed. They existed for the enterprise. They didn't exist for internet scale. And I think that's what you're seeing today with the next generation of companies. They're all built for internet scale. I mean, Dropbox is a great example of born on the web backup services that has replaced backup software that's been in existence for decades. And WhatsApp, basically a messaging service. To give you some examples, they have 3 times more text every day than Twitter posts. They send more text every month than all of the world's telcos combined. And the reason Facebook paid $19 billion for them is they've replaced $100 billion market for texting with an application. And why did they do it? They added security. They were able to text more than 10 people at a time. They were able to create groups. And they made a slick user interface that made it very easy to use. So again, texting had been around for more than a decade, probably 2 decades. They came in, saw a different slant, and rewrote the rules, and and created something that doesn't exist.
That's amazing. Now, what is a certified attorney, somebody who studied law, doing in technology and running multiple billion-dollar firms?
Sure. I moved to Dallas in 1995 to go to law school, and fell backwards into the internet. I actually got a job working in support for a dial-up ISP, and love technology. I've always been a computer geek, and rose through the ranks from support to Unix admin to network engineering to operations to general manager to eventually working at another company and then starting my own. And so although I'm a licensed attorney, I like to say I'm a recovering attorney, but my love, my passion is technology. So that's why I went this route.
Lance, you're such an inspiration. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.